This is a KC24 News Education Matters special, made possible by Fresno Office of Education, EECU, Granville Homes, and Table Mountain Rancheria.
Hey there, I'm Evan Onstein.
And I'm Stephanie Barugian. And welcome to this Education Matters special report on the teacher shortage.
Educators are calling it a crisis. There are not enough credentialed teachers to fill the hundreds of open positions in classrooms. And it's not just a Valley problem, it's nationwide. It's been building for years.
Education Matters reporter Juanita Stevenson is here with more on what's behind the shortage.
There are a number of factors that caused the current teacher shortage, including the recession that took hold in 2008. It's led to a sharp decline in the number of young people going into the profession and has forced school districts to take emergency measures to get teachers into classrooms.
I need everybody's eyes and ears on me.
24-year-old J.D. Mendez seems to control his classroom with ease.
Click on it.
Knows his subject matter and knows how to engage his students.
You got to click on the words right there.
It's admirable work, considering that this young man hasn't been on the job for even a year and is still working to get his teaching credential.
I felt like I was kind of ready to step out and make that leap, and I felt like, you know, in the credential program at Horizon Pacific, I felt well prepared.
He was hired by the Fowler Unified School District as an intern last August. He learned of the position by attending a teacher recruitment fair hosted by a group of smaller rural school districts. Districts that now understand they must be proactive when it comes to finding that right teacher.
It is very competitive. You have, of course, some tremendous school districts in our area. There's outstanding school districts in our area. And so, yes, it is very competitive, and we want to ensure that small rural school districts are competitive in the area of teacher recruiting.
The competition for teachers, good teachers, is fierce.
I don't know if competition is the right word, but we're all looking for teachers, absolutely.
It is a basic case of supply and demand, a huge need for teachers and not enough to fill open positions. Many districts are hiring young people like J.D. and supporting them through the credentialing process.
This district has done a great job of, just preparing their teachers, whether it's with training, being well supplied, any resources that you need. I feel like this district has done a really great job of doing that. And so I've been, very blessed in order to have that opportunity in this district.
Mendez is going through the credentialing program at Fresno Pacific University, just one of the institutions in the Central Valley training future teachers. Dr. Linda Hoff, head of the teacher education program, says Fowler isn't the only school district scrambling to fill teacher positions.
In all cases, they're running up against teacher shortages. I think for some of the most prestigious districts, it was probably a bit surprising to them that they too were searching for quite a few teachers in the 11th hour before school opened. So there really is a serious teacher shortage. District superintendents will call it a crisis. I would agree, because we've seen this trend coming for a really long time, and now it's here in full blast.
Dr. Hoff says data from the Commission on Teacher Credentialing shows that the trend started 5 to 8 years ago, and the numbers are troubling.
We're now at only 50% of the number of people going into teaching that went into teaching 5 years ago. So that's a serious problem.
Hoff and others point to several developments that have not sparked the decline. They surely made it worse.
No pig slip!
The 2008 recession and budget cuts rocked the economy. The state of California alone cut billions of dollars from its budget, and education took a huge hit. It's a time Sherry Wood, teacher and former president of the Fresno Teachers Association, not only remembers well, she lived it.
There were these huge cuts in education, laying off, at some point it was 600 teachers one year, and losing our extracurricular activities, band, music, arts were all let go of. And I do think that changed the desire for our young teachers or anyone changing a career at that time to step into a position that wasn't there. It just wasn't there.
It was a period of uncertainty for teachers who were constantly receiving pink slips in the spring, then forced to reapply for their jobs in the fall, making it impossible for new teachers to become permanent employees.
I feel like we really turned a lot of very good young teachers, committed teachers, to a different profession.
Dr. Paul Berry, Dean of the Crimmins School of Education at Fresno State, says it wasn't just budget cuts that hurt the profession, but also it was a general disrespect for teachers.
There's been lots of teacher bashing and education bashing.
Dean Berry says Fresno State once turned out more teachers than any CSU in the state. That is no longer the case.
10 years ago, we had 1,000 new teachers, and now we are about 350 new teachers. And the entire state has declined from 12,000 a year, actually as high as 16,000 a year, to 8,000 a year.
The lack of young people going into teaching, combined with a slew of baby boomers, longtime veteran teachers now choosing to retire, has created a perfect storm, a severe shortage that is causing educators to join together to take action.
If there's going to be a teacher shortage, we just can't sit here and say, oh, there's a teacher shortage. We're going to have to do some recruiting.
That means going after people who already have degrees and are searching for a new career, looking within their own ranks and growing their own teaching force.
You know, it starts with the classroom teacher. You know, that teacher who sits in front of thousands of kids every day has a great opportunity to tell each and every one of them about their profession and demonstrate to them that look at what I get to do every day. I mean, think about it. You know, we're working so hard to change our community and make it a better place. Who better to do that than a classroom teacher?
In an effort to get more young people interested in teaching, several high schools in the Valley have added education pathways to their career technical education programs.
Thank you, Juanita. Next up, how our local colleges and universities are adapting their teacher training programs to meet school district-specific needs.
Some say it is making for better teachers. We'll be right back.
Education is the most powerful weapon,
which you can use to change the world.
Education is our passport to the future.
For tomorrow belongs to the people who prepare for it today.
Tonight, KC24 and FCOE bring you Education Matters.
KC24 had a presence at this year's Fresno Compact.
Now let's go live to this Children's Movement press conference.
Now we have our first 5 family focus.
Tonight's Educator of the Week. Welcome back. The recent study by the Learning Policy Institute, which highlighted the state's emerging teacher shortage, also offered strategies to address it.
Education Matters reporter Juanita Stevenson joins us now with how the Valley's colleges and universities are meeting the challenge.
From innovative grow-your-own teacher preparation programs to more mentors for new teachers, these are just some of the approaches local colleges and universities are using to get more teachers in classrooms.
Brianna Loera.
A big day for these Fresno State students. They're being awarded their teaching credential, and it's a sure bet they already have jobs.
100%. Everybody last year got a job. Everybody the year before got a job.
A severe teacher shortage has made the classroom position one of the most in-demand jobs there is.
Every school principal wants the cream of the crop for their school, and they don't want to take anything else.
In order to get a first chance at graduates, school districts are partnering up with universities like Fresno Pacific, National, and Fresno State to train teachers.
We prepare the teachers on site in those districts, and the classes we teach are on site in those districts. We plan the curriculum with the districts. They're coming prepared with the Fresno or the Sanger lens on education.
Sanger has had a long-time partnership with Fresno State. Students like Emily Berry and Janae Larson take classes at school sites, in this case, Reagan Elementary.
I love having the class here because we're interacting with the kids and we know the school location and the environment, and then we just go and have a smaller group and stay with the cohort instead of having to go back to Fresno State and be on that university campus.
The students are all paired with a mentor, a master teacher.
In every position I've been in with my student teachers, I've always felt that my students have benefited from having an extra set of hands, eyes, and another person to care about them and to help them be learners.
Emily is receiving expert and individualized training, while the school is getting to know the potential candidate up close. Oftentimes, students are offered contracts before they complete the program.
We know what we'll be getting once we post that job. We've already essentially made our mind up as far as who those best candidates are based on the way that they respond in the classroom to their master teacher and the experiences that we put them through.
John Hannigan, principal at Reagan Elementary, says schools are getting out in front of the teacher shortage by bringing potential candidates on campus during their training. It's a proactive move because the pool of applicants has shrunk considerably.
You know, say 5 years ago, when we post a teaching position having over 300 candidates apply for it, and you put 10 of them in front of your panel, and of those 10, 6 of them are a solid 10 out of 10.
That was before the teacher shortage.
Now, maybe less than 20 applicants, and of those 20, maybe 8 will be put in front of the interview, and then in that, you're just open for a test.
Sanger isn't the only school district growing its own teaching force by preparing them on site.
The teacher residency program is probably our most intensive partnership with Fresno State.
Fresno Unified's residency program is viewed as the gold standard for teacher preparation. The district received a grant with the intent to train 300 teachers with a STEM focus.
2 weeks prior to the school year, they meet their mentor or master teacher, and they work side by side with their whole team on developing, planning, all of the different units that they will be teaching within their time frame that they're at that site.
These are all great programs aimed at not only increasing the pool of teachers, but the diversity.
Diversity to us means lots of things besides just ethnicity. It means males in elementary schools. It means women in the sciences and math at the high school level.
The problem is schools are in desperate need of teachers now, and there's just not enough of them. Jim Jovino, County Superintendent of Schools, says he hears about it every day.
You know, at the end of the day, that child's coming into that room every day and they want the very best. And so what we're ending up with highly qualified substitutes who are being inspired to go back to school and become teachers. And that is really a positive thing that's come out of the unfortunateness of not having enough teachers.
Young people like Elena Keeney.
It's asking you, well, what was the central idea?
Elena began teaching at Madison Elementary in the Central Unified School District with an intern permit.
The minute I was in this class, I had the support I needed, whether it was from my school site or from Fresno Pacific.
She's enrolled at Fresno Pacific University, which is providing her with a mentor teacher.
I'm really lucky to have the mentor. If I didn't have that mentor, I wouldn't have the courage to be able to try new things, you know. She watches me do lessons, she observes me and gives me feedback. I know that if I didn't get that feedback, I don't know if I would grow as much.
Dr. Linda Hoff, head of the teacher education program at Fresno Pacific, says the university has had to hire more people and provide different pathways to teaching to accommodate people not enrolling in traditional credentialing programs. But she says the goal is the same: turn out highly qualified professionals.
Teaching is highly academic. It demands of teachers that they not only know their subject matter deeply and well, but that they are able to make that accessible to kids who come from vastly different backgrounds, all in the same classroom.
Young teachers like Elena are ready to take on that challenge. She came to teaching after years of working with kids with special needs.
Since then, I have definitely, it just opened my heart to be able to make a difference, especially in the demographics I'm in right now. That's where I want to be. I want to help the kids who don't have all these things available to them. I want to be their support. I want to be their advocate and make a difference in their lives.
The Fresno County Office of Education is working with Fresno State on a plan to bring the university's award-winning teacher preparation program out to rural areas. When we come back, the rewards of being a teacher, and as you will see, there are many.
One of the biggest challenges educators face when it comes to easing the teacher shortage is how to get more young people to enter the profession.
Education Matters reporter Juanita Stevenson joining us now with why some think the answer can be found in the classroom.
If you ask a teacher why they chose to teach, many will say they love children or it's the opportunity to shape young lives. But if you ask biology teacher Scott Hatfield, he might tell you it's also one big adventure.
Archaeology is the search for fact, not truth.
This is the side of Dr. Henry Walton, Indiana Jones, we rarely saw.
Next week, Egyptology.
It was when Professor Jones left his classroom for an assignment that would take him on his next adventure. Well, that's when the character came alive.
I have some items I'd like to share with you.
Some would say Fresno has its own version of Indiana Jones in science teacher Scott Hatfield.
Orangutans, just like the gorilla, they have the crest.
Hatfield teaches biology at Bullard High School and loves science.
I think of myself primarily as being a member of the scientific community, and as part of the scientific community, I happen to work through the agency of my local school district to bring science content to young people.
He says he works to inspire his students, teaching them science can be used to solve the world's problems, to help us understand the unknown.
Many people don't like the unknown, the mysterious. They think that's bad. They want to have everything explained now. Scientists don't feel that way. We like to go out, we like to explore, we have adventures. I tell that to my students, you can have adventures, and they think, well, that's corny. Who has adventures anymore? I said, I do.
It's day 2 of my Grand Canyon adventure, and I've just been told that we are now about 54, 55 miles in.
This past summer, Hatfield and other scientists toured the floor of the Grand Canyon.
It was pretty amazing. You're on that river, and you're constantly moving in and out of the sun, and you keep, as you move along the river, you're descending in elevation, and you're descending through time in a sense, because you're going through these layers of rock, all of which were laid down at different times.
This is not Hatfield's only adventure. A few years ago, he joined another group on an expedition to the Galapagos Islands. The islands, located 600 miles off the coast of South America. Hatfield called them a natural laboratory for science.
When I went to Galapagos, or I went to the Grand Canyon, I'm having experiences that are directly relevant to the curriculum. It's not just a question of, this is your science class, you're supposed to learn some science concepts, but this is real. Nature is real, and it's exciting, and you can have adventures in nature as well.
His first-hand experience makes a difference in the classroom, makes a difference to his students, who say it shows he's willing to invest time outside the classroom.
It's a lot more helpful having a teacher who's not just throwing information at you, but he actually is knowledgeable in it. He can answer your questions that you have, unlike other teachers who have to look it up overnight, stuff like that. He knows because he's been there. He can bring back information to us and teach it to us in his version, and he understands it.
Hatfield is involved with the National Center for Science Education, and he knows he's been able to experience some of these adventures because he's a teacher.
People think, oh, those teachers, they got it so easy, they get the summers off. Well, okay, I am taking a vacation, but it's a working vacation. I'm using that time to make myself a better teacher. And a lot of teachers do stuff like that. They take courses, they use travel experiences that they bring back to the classroom. Good teachers don't keep doing the same thing year in and year out. They are constantly learning something new and reinvesting that time back into their career.
Hatfield's summer adventures are just one of the many rewards of being a teacher. Educators say there are many other good things about teaching that don't fit into people's perceptions, including pay.
When I got into this profession, I wanted to change the outcome for a child. I wanted to be that classroom teacher and do that. And also, hey, let's face it, we all need to make a living. And teachers do make a good living.
Jim Yavino, Fresno County Superintendent of Schools, says when you compare a teacher's salary with any other profession that works the same amount of days, it's a very competitive pay scale.
And there are so many other opportunities for teachers. Of course, there's coaching opportunities, other stipend opportunities for them to work with summer school and after-school programs.
Many educators believe that due to the competition for teachers, we could see an increase in their salaries.
I'm going to be surprised if we don't. Okay. That'll make teachers happy.
But during our visits to classrooms, teachers didn't talk about their pay or summers off. They talked about what it means for them to be a teacher, because they see the value in what they do, even when many of us don't.
What an incredible opportunity I've been given, because I really do have a chance to shape the way young people perceive themselves and how they should approach life, the values they have in life. And that's what I think we should want at any public school. We should want to create an environment where we challenge our kids to do the best all the time and never settle for second best. Always give your best. Always become the best that you can be. And if we're doing that, then I'm not going to worry so much about test scores or AYPs or whatever the current mantra or fad is in education, whether it's Common Core or this. I know we're going to be able to take whatever that structure is, and we're going to be able to make a difference in the lives of kids.
We are waiting to see where Mr. Hatfield's next adventure will take him, but you can bet he will share it with his students. When we come back, the job opportunities for today's teachers.
Welcome back. Educators say there is no better time to be a teacher. The state is pouring more money into school budgets, and local control funding is making it possible for schools to reduce class size.
And because the demand outstrips the supply, those going into teaching have more options than ever before. At this job fair, hosted by Fresno State's Crimmins School of Education, Valley school districts came prepared to hire new teachers.
This is a big job fair for us. We're anticipating hiring over 300 teachers next year.
The competition is so fierce for new teachers that the Fresno Unified School District was offering job candidates contracts on the spot.
We just need to get our young people to want to go into the teaching field and to know that they have a whole career and a lifetime in front of them.
And educators say that's the problem. Not enough young people are going into the teaching profession, and they believe one of the best ways to turn that around is the teacher in the classroom, letting their students know just how great their job is.
They're also encouraging people looking for second careers to consider teaching. Educators say they make some of the best teachers. And I have to say, just being in this fabulous classroom is so inspiring.
Thanks to Roosevelt High School for letting us be here. Thanks to Fresno Unified. And thank you for joining us for the Special Education Matters Report on the teacher shortage. For Juanita Stevenson, I'm Evan Onstadt.
And I'm Stephanie Barugian. See you next time.